Still waiting on John to get back here.
Well, that's silly.
God damn it.
Hey, that's not my fault. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad it's on the starting soon so far.
There you go.
Jesus. I'm disappointed, Rafi.
No.
I'm really curious how many times you're going to be able to do all of this just wrong. How many different ways can you mess up my name?
Don't worry about it.
This isn't a question I want an answer to necessarily, but
One's too big. Oh. Delete.
I can make it smaller after you've made it.
This would be right the first time.
this is weird. So much for the intro music.
Yeah, I'm listening to the Sonic the Hedgehog CDs, dude. They're way better. Whatever's happening right now.
Well, I mean,
This quack's the worst.
I didn't mean to go to Twitter. What the
Squack's
fuck?
the Wario.
I didn't go to Do it.
alright, that's it. I'm getting the editing software on my computer.
No! Keep it on! Keep it on! Hold on.
Why?
Do I have another GIF? Hold on, let's find out if I have more GIFs. What else do I got that I can abuse? Ah, I hate all of these are webms. Wait, do webms work? I don't remember. I have to find out now.
Man, John is taking a long time here.
Let's go to John's gay. Webms work! What do I have in the form of webms?
Dwight.
Welcome.
Do it.
Dwight.
Ooh, this one. Let's do this
Do
one.
it. Do it.
Do it.
Why is there a Pornhub up there with me? Is there any way for me to delete that?
No.
It's there forever.
Thank you.
All right.
Keep it on the move. Keep it on the move.
Since we're all here,
No!
we'll get started. I think last time we were gonna have Pyro do the intro, but what has happened is exactly as I feared, and I do not believe he is in the chat. So
No intro.
Nice.
Good job, Pyro. You really dropped the ball.
Way to go.
So I'll just go over it, and none of you will get the inspiration.
We
I already
still
got my
have to
inspiration,
use it.
bitch.
Yeah, I already
Yeah,
have
you
my
guys-
inspiration, bitch.
You have not been using your inspiration. I'm
We haven't
totally surprised by
had
that.
to.
Yeah.
There have been multiple times when you guys
So
have been
far,
using
my
inspiration.
the highest risk combat roll I made was against a kid.
That's fair.
That is true.
It was surprisingly high risk though. So
That was. Get rid of that Pornhub. I see it there. I do not have a Pornhub account.
He's lying to you.
So we wanted to find out.
so
Don't joke it, don't admit it.
last session, we had you guys going out on the road towards the weapons research facility out on the edge of Ambar. And along the way, you guys came across a druid of the woods by the name of Mud.
Oh gosh.
He was a good guy. I loved him.
who,
Was a good guy and I loved him.
He was kind.
in his bewildering manners, tried to ingratiate himself amongst you.
Ingratiate? I don't like that word.
And he did a lot of strange rituals and trying to seemingly heal the party as well at the same time, trying to bring everyone together, as Neff had been stalking the party up to this point from a distance.
Stalking is an aggressive word.
No, that's exactly what you were doing.
You can shut
Yeah.
your fucking mouth.
And
You mother... Oh, I don't have the
And-
soundboard up.
and Mud's shenanigans,
Gosh.
in a way, did bring everyone together in unity against Mud, as you all became extremely weirded out by him
It's a
and
fragile
his
alliance.
strange requests that became ever more strange as the night wore on, until at some point in the middle of the night,
You kept trying to turn John on, it didn't work.
you snuck out in the middle of the night and ran
I
away
don't
as
think John
fast.
ever rolled for him.
I didn't need to. The guy was freaking creepy.
Just trying to die right now.
I'm just saying, you're not being very true to your character.
You are not.
I'll be honest. I'm gonna roll when I get more people like the guard. That sweet, sweet guard.
Dave.
Like the guard, just a random person. Who could be more random than Mud?
Probably the guard, honestly.
He had similar ears to you.
That was really racist, actually.
That's my turn on. You're right.
And then later on in your journey, about a week out from the facility itself,
At one place.
that one place, you came across a small hunting village that you went to trade for supplies, getting some meats, some hides. And during so, a group of children began to mock you and laugh
I
at you.
don't like where the
Attack.
story is going. Oh, what do you mean, attack?
They start throwing small rocks
That's
at
the
you.
verb I prefer.
No, don't preface this with small rocks. All right.
One of
There
those
were
rocks-
small rocks!
That rock
There were small
almost did-
children!
That rock did 4 damage to me.
That's
Yeah,
because you're a bitch!
That is
He's-
equivalent to a throwing knife. All
That's
right.
because you're a bitch!
Hey, bludgeoning
That kid?
damage.
That kid took a rock the size of a fist and hucked it with all his strength that's out.
He's got a tiny fist!
That kid was super strong.
That kid threw a critical hit on Salazar and
Made him cry.
hit him for 4 damage, and then proceeded to run into the woods, continuing to mock both Salazar and Arlo, who ran into the woods after him. Salazar threw a rock at the kid in.
Well, I dodged that
revenge.
trap gracefully.
Oh yes,
first.
you
Yeah.
did draw. You did dodge.
They had a trap for me. Remember that.
They
You are
had
crap.
they had a branch tied up against the tree that swung back at you, but you
That would've
dodged.
done
that.
like what? Damage?
Yes.
Oh, like what? Shaved your eyebrows?
All of these were low-digit attacks.
They didn't know how much HP I have.
The
Yeah,
only
exactly.
reason it did 4 damage is because it crit on you. You managed to dodge their shenanigans, only to throw a rock at the child in revenge,
With
critting
precision.
on that hit and basically almost knocking him unconscious in that one hit. He fell to the ground crying. To which point Arlo followed up with a knife throw at the child,
Yes, he did. He did do that.
which did what knives do. And,
Murder people.
Cut him deep.
Cut him deep. Sure, let's say cut him deep.
and so the village became alarmed and alerted at the sounds of the commotion and screaming, and came to find both Arlo and Salazar over a what appeared to be dead but was in fact dying child, and
Thanks
formed
to a benevolent DM.
quickly formed a mob and tried to stop everyone's escape out of the village. Salazar and Neff managed to get past the villagers with relative ease. Salazar did knock a person unconscious, But but Arlo, seeing that he was on a roll, and decided to double down on the knife.
Hey, I thought I was already boned. I didn't want to get caught for murder.
Yes, because that's what makes things
So what do you
definitely
do?
better is doubling down on the
You
murder.
do it
See,
again.
man.
Why not?
In
Why
for a
not?
penny, in for a pound. All right.
Oh
No
my-
witnesses. Ha! Oh wait, there's 30 of them.
I should have stuck around and just fought them off.
That would have been a great idea too.
So you definitely murdered a man on your way to your horse as the three of you started to make your escape. But Neff, seeing that Timothy had stayed behind, decided to stay behind himself.
I'm a good Christian boy.
And the two of you decided to help the villagers, specifically with Timothy finding the mortally wounded child and bringing him back from the brink, to the surprise and gratitude of the village. And then as the night went on and Arlo and Salazar realized that Neff and Timothy hadn't come back, they decided to sneak back into the village, thinking
We're
that
gonna kill everybody.
the villagers had captured them and they needed rescuing. But seeing Timothy talk with some of the village folk and
It's a very dark fairy tale.
and specifically making an oath basically that he would see to the justice of against his party mates on behalf of the village.
Oh, we can have some PC combat going on.
And so seeing that, Salazar and Arlo also overheard that wood elves had been attacking the village as of late and decided that they were going to head out and find out why the local wood elves had been raiding the countryside, it seemed. And so they went off to do that, kind of unbeknownst that Timothy and Neff were now out to find them and were also on their trail. And that's basically where we left it. 2 pursuits.
What is full
right.
time?
Oh, you got it to work.
Gosh dang it.
And all I have to say is the only reason they can follow us is because of Salazar.
Wait, why?
Why are you blaming him?
Because I remember the last time they couldn't find the wood elf tracks, but they found the Salazar tracks.
These
Us
sounds
following the wood elves.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, that is right. I forgot about that. So, we will basically start you guys off then in your dual pursuits.
Dun 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 dun. Isengard.
Oh, I thought you were gonna start singing the Jurassic Park theme, but whatever. Anyway.
Oh my god.
All right. So, how I've set it up, how we're going to resolve this. We're going to be doing a series of skill checks.
All right.
Yes.
God damn it.
Look, there has to be a game mechanic reason to solve this.
My dog is confused.
So, both groups are after your prospective hunts. With the first group comprising of Salazar and Arlo. You are hunting down the wood elves. Basically, unbeknownst to you is also Timothy and Neff, who are hunting specifically you. Both of these parties are going to be going through a series of skill checks. They
Sweet.
will start out very difficult,
Oh, wow. Thanks. I appreciate you.
but they will get easier over time.
And that's not a good way to put it.
And so basically, how we will do this, since you guys are traveling overland and are doing so in a quick manner, how you guys will cover distance will be Constitution checks.
Ah!
Yes,
Why?
I am built for this.
But you can boost this check and give yourself advantage if you can convince me. If you can convince me that you have adequately prepared for the day's tracking, either through additional investigation.
Hold on. I understand the lumberfoots and the round ears and everybody else, you know.
Round ears.
Yes,
Round ears.
sir.
Hold on.
Tracking their way.
Check that at the door.
I am a wood elf, and I think dexterity should be my modifier as I work my way through.
Everyone, let's put up to a vote. Do we believe in this bullshit? I say nay.
No, it'll be Constitution.
No, dexterity, because I am a
The
wood elf.
DM has
DM
spoken.
has spoken.
But you can use a dexterity check to convince me that you're aiding your pursuit, and give yourself advantage on your con check. And I will also remind you guys that you do have those inspiration points, which will give you an additional D12 on this check.
That depends on who you're talking to.
All right, so
I don't know what you're talking about.
the skill check will start out at a DC 25.
What?
Oh my god.
Oh wait, no, I wrote that wrong.
Yeah, you better wrote that wrong.
You wrote it
It'll be
backwards.
easy.
20.
It'll be a DC 20. That's what I wrote.
Thank goodness.
I read that wrong.
25.
That's something completely unrelated, and don't worry about it.
What's this first DC check?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
For real though.
So yes, we'll start off with Salazar and Arlo, since you were first out. You guys have basically gotten yourself a day's head start ahead of the other group. Of course, you don't necessarily know this. They just took their time, tending to the villagers and seeing to their needs before they set out after you. So you had found the party of wood elves, their tracks, but you can tell from previously that they were far ahead of you, and it would take a considerable amount of effort on your part to catch up to them, possibly days,
Years even.
So,
maybe years.
to give myself an advantage, because I so badly want it, I want to use the fact that I'm tracking these guys and I know the path that they took. And since they're native wood elves who know the area well, I think it would make the trip easier for me if I followed their predetermined path through the woods.
Okay.
So instead of rolling a dex, that would be more like a perception, wouldn't it?
Alright, vote.
It would be investigation.
Ooh.
Well, no, it would be perception. You're right. Since
No,
you're not.
And
Since
since Salazar's following me, would he also get the same bonus since we're
No.
following their path?
Would he be smart enough to get that
Blindly
bonus?
following.
I will say, actually, for some reason I didn't think of this. This will be only one of you will have to make this check.
Oh.
But one of you can help out the other to give advantage as well.
All right, so let's do that. I'm giving him advantage using my perception to give him advantage on Constitution.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then yeah, definitely go ahead.
What is this check we're doing?
You're gonna do a Constitution check.
I mean, do I know why? Am I just doing it?
No, this is
You're just here for the
guys
ride,
are
man.
basically think of it the two towers. You guys are in pursuit.
Okay,
You're
gotcha.
just running like all day. Like you
Oh
were just
yeah, I
going
got
at
this.
it. You have your
No, come on! It's almost a 17. So 13.
You tried
on.
and failed.
You get to go again because of
yes.
Oh, I get to go again?
Yes, you get an advantage for this rule.
Constitution. Go
Ooh.
again.
my. Ah,
Wow, 10 again.
Ooh.
Or 13. It's the tree.
So, for this day, you do not think that you managed to make up much ground on the party of elves ahead of you, but you don't think you've lost any ground at the very least. And you can tell, one of you make an investigation check for me real quick.
I got it.
Yeah, you better make that investigation check.
Oh ho!
Wait, what?
18.
Hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
He's clearly rigged it. Those are loaded dice. I can tell. Just looking.
Loaded dice.
So after the day's journey, you can tell that the party ahead of you seems to not be as cohesive as it was at the beginning. You can tell that the tracks are not as uniform, following each other in a straight, rigid lines as they used to be. The path is kind of broadening out a little bit. But you still have a clear idea of where the direction they're heading into. Okay, so next will be Neff and Timothy. It'll be the same rules applying to you, except you're pursuing Salazar and Arlo.
All right. So, Constitution check, you said.
Yes.
8.
I'm not excited for this. Alright. Mine's not gonna be any better.
Only one of you rolls.
Yes, only one of you can roll.
Lame.
So during the day, only one of you will do the Constitution check, but the other can give a help action to the person who's rolling. But you have to explain it how you were helping them, basically.
Wouldn't Bardic Inspiration work on that?
Yes, it would.
Yes, it would.
Does
So
that
is
mean you
that
burn a
a-
spell slot to do it though?
Bardic Inspiration? I have 3 Bardic Inspirations a day. You
Yeah.
fucking lame-o.
Nice.
Oh, I have 4. I'm level 4. Never mind. Hold on. I'm even more powerful than before.
So the question is, do I roll? Do I reroll
I don't even
Constitution,
remember
or
my
do
own
I
spell.
add Inspiration to it?
You get to add a D6 to it.
Add D6. Okay.
Roll that shit. Spin that shit.
It's a 6.
Hold
So
on.
Oh,
You have to
dang.
load up the dice too.
14
Okay, 14.
total.
You wouldn't know this, but you have definitely gained a little bit of ground on Salazar and Arlo compared to the ground that they have covered in the day. So you are a little closer, but you are not close enough to make the catch, as it were, yet.
Right.
No.
Is that like justice? Just like, what's the word I'm looking for? Justice, like fury.
What the
Justice
fuck are you
Fury?
doing?
No, is it,
Are you-
is it
hold on.
vindicated fury?
Can
What
you
is that?
Not, like,
Retribution?
Genie?
Yeah, retribution. There we go.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I thought like you were making like fanfic characters. Oh, my little Simba's still up there.
Ah, damn it! I forgot to. That's fine.
What the heck is that thing?
It was. It was gonna be
Horse.
Simba,
Oh no, it's Simba. You're right. Damn it.
but he didn't get to finish. I think we broke Rafi.
Okay.
Crappy brain.
So,
No.
this will be the end of the first day. The two parties have each traveled roughly 20 miles each in their pursuit, and it is now nighttime.
Hold on. Yeah, hold on 1 second.
Do you guys continue the pursuit in the night? If you do so, you will not get any penalties this go around, but on the following day, you will get a point of exhaustion added to your ability rolls.
So if we run through the night, that day we'll get the
The penalty.
exhaustion.
Yeah.
Yes, but you will get another opportunity, possibly against the other party, to continue making ground.
Well, let's be real. Like, I don't know we're being chased right now,
That's true.
and so it's like, why would I run through the night? You know, it's like, all right, let's stop, break for the night, and then follow the tracks. Like, these tracks aren't going anywhere, and I'm not scared of losing them.
Okay. Is that Timothy and Neff? Do you follow the same course, or do you keep going?
I mean,
Do you tuck in for the night, or do you keep going? I should
right.
say.
I mean, my thoughts are, and no matter where they are, they have to make camp at some point. So I'm gonna go ahead and
Yeah, why
do the
waste the
same.
night? Are you gonna do the same? Alright, whatever. I'm not gonna go outside at night. I'm scared. I'm a little twink boy. I'm not doing that.
You're a what boy?
You're
A
gonna
twink?
stay behind in the forest by yourself?
Wait, hold on. Is he going or did
No,
he cut
I'm-
out for me?
I'm
You're
not
going?
going after. I'm staying.
Yeah,
I'm staying for the night. yeah.
Oh!
I'm staying near him. I'm not gonna go out there by
I thought he
myself.
said he was going. Sorry,
No.
I
No.
misheard.
I said twink boy, by the way, John.
Yeah, it's a twink boy.
Oh my god. We're not doing this right now. Keep going.
All right. During the night, an event does happen for both Arlo and Timothy.
Oh.
The two of you will need to roll wisdom saving throws.
Ooh.
For two
Okay.
separate places?
They got demon
Yes.
thoughts.
I got an 8.
25.
25.
Oh wait, there's a wisdom save and then there's an. Oh, one sec.
Oh,
We
he
do that.
purposely did that. He purposely
No,
did
I've
that.
got much higher. There we go.
Okay, even with a +6 opposed to a +2, you would have saved it. So yes, both of you sleep soundly through the night, and nothing of import happens. So we will continue on to the next day of pursuits. So we'll start with Salazar and Arlo again.
Okay.
Can I use the same thing I used last time?
You're a cheater.
Yes, this time it'll be a DC 15. You guys have gained a little bit of ground. You also have a stronger bead on the people ahead of you. You've got a better sense of their tracks.
Oh no!
Wow.
Does he?
Seven.
Does he still have advantage because I'm used following their tracks, or?
Yes, I will give you advantage for that since you are with him in that way.
Give me to me.
Damn it!
This is
You,
rigged. This is rigged.
It's rigged. It's rigged. Steve, what have you done?
I don't think he's looked at anything. Hold on, I think that's right. You know what? Good on you, Steve.
Okay.
You have clearly not made any ground on the party ahead of you. And you feel like the day has largely been wasted. All right, then it'll be Timothy and Neff.
The
How do you
entire
guys
time.
Go
Oh,
for
yeah.
it.
The entire time we're running, I'm looking back at Salazar like, good lord, he can't keep up. He can't do this.
I can run, old man.
Oh, man.
Old man, how old do I look?
I don't know. Elves are always ancient.
Well, I guess by your standards, I'm ancient. I mean, 75 is old for you.
Yeah, you old man. All right.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Oh, damn.
Oh my God, 23.
I'm not gonna give him
Natural
20.
20. So total
Yeah,
23.
you do not need to give him any help.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my bardic inspiration for rainy day now.
It is clear after this day's work that you were directly on the heels of Salazar and Arlo. And just another day like this, and you will be on top of them easily. You're not entirely sure why you caught up to them so easily. You could have sworn that they were better woodsmen than this, but
Well,
I mean,
half of
I
them.
guess. Yeah, no, Salazar's actually pretty decent at this stuff too.
I don't
But yeah, you
necessarily
would,
know that.
That's I mean I guess yeah, that's fair. But yeah, you would not have thought that a dwarf and a tiefling bard would have been able to catch up to a natural wood elf and a tone-fit athletic fighter like Salazar.
They're athletic. They're not
premium
geniuses.
athletes.
They're athletic, not geniuses.
But you have. And so the night comes down again. Do you guys continue, either of you, or do you stay the night?
Let Timothy and Neptune decide first.
Hold on 1 second. No.
You know nothing
I know
about
what
this.
we're doing. I've already decided.
Yeah, bull.
I will message Foxy.
Flip a coin.
just to-
Flip a coin. Flip a
No,
coin.
you messaged me, you motherfucker.
Okay, fine.
My gosh.
All right. Okay. Yeah, you two can decide that.
Hmm.
I think if
So-
we're right on the heels of them, we might as well chase him down.
I mean, we are getting close. I'm getting a little excited just from being able to tell that I'm actually gaining ground and I have a really solid beat on them. I think I'm going to keep going.
Hooray!
All right. So
Let's
you
keep
guys are
going.
going to continue to pursue?
Hell yeah.
All right, then I'm going to go off of what Mr. Quills has written to me here.
Okay.
And they are they are camping for the night.
Ooh.
So I will go to Timothy and Neff again for a roll here on a con.
Oh,
check.
gross.
Constitution.
Constitution.
Conestoga wagon.
Constitution.
Right, do you
Figure
want to
that
make
one.
this or you want me to make it?
Fuck no, you do it.
Okay.
Oh, you can also use your ring as well to give you advantage.
That is
Use a
true. I
ring?
do have that. No, I have the.
The cursed ring?
Hey,
The ring of
yes.
diabetes.
you haven't convinced me of that. 21. I think I'm gonna be okay with that.
Okay. With that, the two of you happen upon a campsite with a small fire, and you can clearly see outlined amongst the fire the resting forms of Salazar and Arlo. What
I'd
do you
like
guys do?
just to state at this time, I would be meditating.
That's
don't-
true.
Oh,
You
okay.
are an elf. You do not sleep technically, but you are deep in trance.
I am meditating, actually.
I will actually bring you guys. Wait, let me check real quick here. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I will bring you guys over.
That's a lot of tents for just me and
Wow, there's a lot of dudes for just two of us.
Now, what is this, the Oregon Trail?
Look, there's
Conestoga wagon.
hold on.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome to the Oregon Trail.
I love you, Steve. Don't throw me out, please.
Oh wait, no, I had a different one that I could do instead here.
Randomly goes through his database trying to get rid of this.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh gosh.
wow, we got to him.
Look
Look at that tiny little picture.
Look at that little guy.
Okay, that's
Oh,
better.
that's better.
Are we like camping just like in a desolate?
No, you're not gonna
Wait.
criticize this.
I tapped the swamp for,
It's a
for
mean
one black
teepee
mana.
we can put up there.
That is a mean teepee. And all that birch tree we just broke apart with our bare hands. Like, look how
What
split
it looks like.
That clearly just fell down on its own because of this.
I'm pretty sure I just
land.
kicked that.
Can you, hey Salazar, will you roll me a strength check to see if that's canon? Did you just break those with your bare hands?
Sure can. 7,
No.
11.
I would say that'd be like a 15, so no.
I dented a tree.
You
Dented a tree.
You tried
It's
real
early
hard,
stage in
but
arc.
He attacked it emotionally. It didn't work as well as
yeah.
Dude, you have a plus 4 to your strength. Good
That's
lord.
right.
He's a
buff
fighter.
That's fair.
Okay. So yes, the two of you have come upon the resting forms of Salazar snoozing away and Arlo in a deep trance. What do you two do?
Slits our throats.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm waiting for this one to talk.
I step right in
afraid of
towards the
this.
campfire.
Okay.
you want to do the
Arlo,
fire?
give me
Are
a
you
perception
weird?
check.
Okie doke.
Timothy, what's your
Roll,
passive?
one. Roll 1.
Oh,
13. You, with the 13, I'll say that you definitely notice that someone has crept up on your campsite.
I am not stealthy.
it's true. He's got a big hammer with a face dented into it.
I'm gonna summon Dave, but I'm not gonna throw him. Just like kind of like.
Oh,
kinda hold him in my
now
hand.
you have restraint. Now there's restraint.
Hey,
Wow.
moment of opportunity. He thinks I'm sleeping.
Oh,
Do I roll a sleight of hand to see if I pull that maneuver off or not?
Without me noticing?
Without him, the people outside noticing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would definitely be sleight of hand.
Ah, shit.
No, you somehow fumble the magical knife.
No, it just appears in my hand as super obvious. I don't drop
I'm
the
sorry. I'm
dagger.
sorry.
That
This is
literally
your- this is
summoned
your
to
thing.
my hand.
Are you the DM?
Why
Are you
are we
the DM?
arguing with the
Are
DM
you
here?
the DM? Are
You
the
try to
DM?
do a quick flourish with your knife silently into the palm of your hand, but instead, it kind of you could lose a little bit of your grip on the knife going into your hand, and it just kind of almost leaves your hand, but you catch it at the last minute. But you definitely outstretch your arm to catch it for a sec.
Did I see
Very
that?
noticeably.
All right.
Did the hand movement.
All right, I realize I'm totally busted, so I just drop the knife and pull my scimitar, and yell, "Who goes there?"
We all saw you mess that up. Don't try and hide it.
I just look down at the knife, look back up at the elf.
Gosh.
Oh my gosh. You can feel the.
Wake up, you idiot! I kick him. I kick Stells.
Hold on, you have to roll for damage. You have to roll for damage.
No.
I did not kick him that hard.
Not lethal. The rock didn't hit him that hard, and still.
They were trying to hurt me, though.
It's true.
I'm sorry.
What's going on? What's going on?
Hi.
Oh, hey Timothy, how's it going?
You know, I'm all right.
Timbo!
Hi.
You made it.
I'm
Yeah.
glad to see that those villagers cut you loose.
Yeah. What the hell?
We were coming to save you. I want you to know that.
Thanks. What the hell was that with the kid?
What kid?
Well, not the one that you killed, the one that the elf killed.
I didn't kill him. I saw that kid walking around when we snuck back.
And he happened to impale himself on what now?
All right. First of all, these kids attacked us.
Let's
children.
Be real.
Yeah,
They were
let's be
kind of
real.
a dick.
They were dicks, for sure. They broke the rules of hospitality and attacked a guest.
Don't know what that means still.
Hold on. So, where exactly would this kid give you this hospitality?
We were invited into the town. We traded with them.
He
He
threw
owns
a
the
rock at
town.
me.
He's playing!
You threw it at my face.
You
Don't
didn't
throw
see
a
the
rock
blood.
at a face. Kids need to learn their lesson. And I
Not
feel
only
like he
did they
learned
throw a
a
rock-
valuable lesson that day.
No. Salazar, let me explain this.
I think
Not
I'm
only did
handling
they
this
throw a
pretty
Please,
rock.
please do.
Not only did they throw a rock, but they led us into the woods where they had set a trap, where they continued to throw rocks and tried to trap us with a tree branch.
The wood elf is afraid of a tree branch.
I'm not afraid of a tree branch. What I'm saying is
You
when
sure?
you break hospitality and attack a guest, seeking to do harm, you defend yourself.
What?
And
what?
we did admirably.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. What kind of
All right,
authority
then
does
we
that kid even
agreed.
have? What kind
Sorry,
of
what was that? I didn't hear.
What authority does that kid have in the town?
He doesn't have any authority in the
Then
town.
how the hell is he supposed to show you hospitality? How is he responsible for it?
The town shows hospitality.
Yes, just because he is a part of the town does not mean he represents all of it. Just
And that's
like
why I didn't attack all of the town.
Wait, what? Hold on. Hold on.
no, you didn't
What?
attack all the town, but you killed their mayor.
Well, the mayor was seeking to stop me. And at that point, I'm running from an attack. I realized that I didn't want to get into a huge, long engagement with the town.
To be fair, you did kill somebody, so he kind of had merit to get in the way. I'm
He
yelling
didn't
this
know.
from
He
across.
was,
I'm nowhere-
he was
I'm
looking
not
for an
in the fire.
explanation. The kid
He
was
wasn't looking
screaming
for an
bloody murder.
explanation.
I'm pretty sure that kid was possessed.
Oh my gosh.
What makes you say that?
Yeah, I could see it in his eyes. You didn't see it. He had fire. It was there.
Are you
He wanted
sure?
to murder me.
Right.
Actually, I was there, and he did. He
I
sought
think
to do harm. They
They
were gleeful.
They
Of
laughed
course.
at me.
It was a child.
A child who throws a rock that does what would be 4 damage and equivalent? Like, would it bloody him? Like, not bloody him, but like draw blood on him.
It'd leave a hell of black bruise.
Yeah, it would be a noticeable hit. Like,
Then I want to point to Salazar's head because that would not have gone away.
It's
No.
still just bleeding. I haven't stopped it in 2 days.
It's like, does this look like play?
Did he run into a
Salazar.
tree? Did he run into a tree?
No,
It
that's
looks like
from
he
the
would've-
rock.
Are you sure? He looks like somebody who would run into a tree.
I don't run into trees.
Okay, put your
No,
head
he's-
into a tree.
I
I'm
assure
pretty sure
you,
that's how
he's
you're
done
gonna
his
fire
very
with
best to
this.
hit every tree on the way here, but none of them have left a mark like this rock.
I have.
I take it
reasons
you've
to
never
believe
played
that's
outside before. My entire childhood was spent outside and underground.
Not to interrupt, but he's a wood elf, so I'm pretty sure he spent quite a bit of time outside.
Yes,
but, you
I
know,
only
just-
lived
Oh,
outside.
apparently not enough to skin his knee.
What?
Apparently not enough to skin his knee.
I heard you. I just didn't understand you. Can you more common language, please? What does that mean?
Yeah, at first, I don't understand why we're even in trouble.
Really?
You don't understand why you're in trouble after you murdered a child and
I
a mayor.
didn't murder a child. The mayor got in the way, and that is regrettable, but I was fleeing. And, I mean, what else am I supposed to do?
Probably not kill
Well,
him.
you
No.
could. Well,
No,
one,
I
you could
didn't
not
want to
throw them.
kill. I did not want to kill an entire town. And this town
What was that noise?
was up in arms. So, I mean, what do you do in that scenario? You get out of there. And if someone's in your way, you get them out of the way.
You know, I'm a little upset you didn't take our when we were fleeing.
Why would I?
That's true.
We're a team, damn it.
We're under contract, sure.
I roll my eyes. I roll my eyes.
And when it's stated, I rolled my eyes.
Yes.
Let the record show. We're under contract, sure. But there's very little about this that screams team. What could you have done? Well, you could have actually explained yourself instead of making it look like you intended to come murder a child and then get the hell out of there.
Or maybe not have murdered a child.
Well,
in the first place.
honestly-
Suggestion.
I didn't come to murder a child. The child attacked us. When we retaliated, I threw a dagger that, in truth, I didn't have much understanding. And
Clearly.
clearly, because I had no idea it was so badass. I mean, I split that guy's head right open.
So
But
you couldn't,
regardless-
you couldn't have even said that you were playing with the kid and allowed me to heal him. Which I did anyways, by
We
the way.
weren't- Well,
And you didn't
I
have
don't
to
even-
put a gaping, massive head wound in the mayor that I'm not able to heal. You gonna come back and explain any of that to the village? That it
well,
was an
let's-
accident?
Let's be honest.
He'd
If I go
probably
back
get-
to explain this as an accident, I'll be hung. I'll be drawed and quartered. My kind, first of all, are not welcomed anywhere. Second of all, they don't understand our customs, and I don't understand their customs.
To be fair, when you do kill a small child, there's not really much to understand. No, is there?
So let me get this straight. You don't understand their customs and they broke the rules of hospitality. Whose customs are we having as the standard here?
The forests. They reside in the forest.
Is there?
The rules of hospitality in the forest is if you welcome in, you do trade, you feed them, then you are under a bond until they leave or until we have any sort of discussion, negotiation between chiefs or chieftains. But if you attack a guest, if you break hospitality, then it's war. But I, not wanting to have war with the entire tribe, simply, mostly out of gut reaction, retaliated when my comrade and partner for this quest was attacked.
So let me get this straight. You're at war with the village because of a kid.
I am not at war with the village,
You
otherwise I would have
literally
killed them.
just
But
said
I
that.
punished that kid. I
Okay.
am not a part of a tribe,
No,
but I was a guest.
but you're apparently enough to be an army.
I'm not an army. Otherwise I would have killed them.
You already did too. I'm sure you could handle the rest of them.
We could.
Hold on. No.
What?
I
I'll be
look
honest,
over
I am
in
not
just the
following.
most. I look over in just the most stunned disappointment.
Ignore him. He'll just follow. He'll just don't take what he said seriously.
Now, I will admit that killing the mayor was wrong. Now, understanding. But the kid was punished for what he did.
Yes,
I'm
because
glad. I'm glad you saved him.
you never.
I'm glad he learned his lesson. But I don't regret it.
Honestly, you've never played by throwing rocks around.
No.
What kind of a childhood did you have?
I think they're kind of shooting bows at each other.
We were raked by war and famine, where every day was a danger.
Okay.
We didn't have childhoods. We were given chores and jobs. Throwing a rock is not play.
How in the world do you think you learned to do anything if you didn't practice? What do you think
You
he's
did
doing?
practice, but you
Great.
didn't practice on people. I didn't shoot my friends to practice with a bow.
Well, you're missing out. That's actually quite a bit of fun.
Wait, what? Hold on.
Hold on.
Am I allowed to
I
leave the
look
group
at him
again?
horrified.
Can I leave the group again?
Who am I traveling with?
I was also raised in war. In fact, I fought on the front lines for 70 years. All of our training, sure, came from our play as kids.
Well, Master Dwarf, we never trained in such a way. We hunted the beasts of the forest, we scouted, but we never attacked one of our own. And we never attacked anyone who didn't deserve it. Or without good cause, I should say.
I
And
think
your
we can
good
all agree
cause-
this was one big misunderstanding.
Yes, it is, which I intend to make right.
Arlo, come here and show me that you can break down a tree with your bare hand. Show me.
Wait,
Stay out of the
what?
conversation. I want him out of the conversation.
Salazar, not
Yeah,
Arlo.
you called Arlo, you big idiot.
Whatever, it doesn't
He's
matter.
an idiot.
It doesn't
Arlo,
matter.
you see that? He called your name instead of my name.
Whatever.
What tree?
That tree over there. Let's go.
So, Dwarf, there are no hospitality laws.
So what
I did.
what
not
exactly
break
did
down
he
that
break
tree.
then?
I didn't hear you.
So what exactly did he break if there are no hospitality laws?
No, I'm asking you. There are no hospitality laws amongst your people, are there?
There are. But we also understand that if a child does something silly, it's a child doing something silly.
I think you ought to have more control and restraint over your children. If you teach them wrong early, they'll be harder to break those habits when they're older.
I'm not disagreeing with you there. However, play is play. And if you can't even understand play for a child, I feel so sorry for you, however old you may be. You coming back to the village to figure things out or what?
I don't think just going back to the village is going to solve the problems. As I
Okay?
said before, you must have been blind for all these years that you've been alive. There's incredible racism
Oh,
that
believe
goes
me,
against Wood Elves.
I'm aware.
And I have no intention of going, in good faith, to only be betrayed again. And to be turned over to an angry mob.
Then how
If
do
I
you
go
intend
back-
to make it right?
If I go back, by any means, it will be with good news or good fortune, or something to alleviate them. And if I am, as you say, to pay for my sins, if there are any, then I will broker peace between them and my people. And then I will go back. But not before.
I don't break his gaze, and I'm thinking about this. If that is indeed what you wish to do. How do you intend to go about it?
Well, at one point, Salazar and I snuck back to see if you needed to be rescued, fearing that you stayed behind and that the mob would come after you. In doing so, we saw and slightly overheard news about wood elves attacking them. This could be, just as it is in this scenario, a case of misunderstanding of cultures, or it could be that my people are attacking them. I do not know. Each tribe is different, and each tribe worships it in their own ways and honors the old ways in their own ways. And I simply seek to understand. If I can't broker peace, then at least I would have found my brothers. But if I can broker peace, then both tribes would be better for it.
All right.
Though I must admit, I understand that you're upset that I was a child and that children in your culture are different from children in my culture.
And you know, an adult male taking care of the rest of the group.
Well, he died well. Hey, he did. He died doing what he thought was right. He did die.
He died trying to take care of the village.
And that's not a bad death. That's a good death.
Nothing about that is honorable.
Dying for your loved ones? It's a good death.
Dying in the manner he did.
Well.
Searching for understanding.
Yeah, I won't lie to you, I'm very confused as to what's going on. But I seek the betterment of my people, I seek the betterment of our contract, and I seek to be loyal to what I said I was going to do. So I've decided I'm going to find my people, and if you wish to join me, and we can broker peace, that is excellent. And if you're willing, maybe you can explain to me these customs I do not understand. And this culture that is alien to me.
You know, I wasn't sure if I was going to come out to kill you or not. In fact, I wasn't going to actually come out to kill you at all, but I was trying to figure out if I was going to have to bring you back willingly or not. I'm willing to try and help you figure this out. Because we have a contract to take care of.
We're only as good as our word.
And mine is written on paper. And I sit down next to the fire.
Hooray, no PC combat.
Are mommy and daddy done fighting?
I'm gonna recall Dave at this point, but making sure that freaking no one is between me and Dave.
Oh yes.
Oh no! Don't.
Yes.
Roll for it. Roll for it.
No.
I could freaking just walk above it and be like Dave, and it pops back up in my
Are you
arm.
sure you're smart enough to do that?
It just warps away.
I will remind Neff, you are not entirely sure. I forgot to include this in the intro, but
Oh, you're talking about like the weird dude who had his head cut off and still freaking me out like, every night and every morning?
Yes, the person who definitely died. You saw healthy and whole and staring you down amongst the villagers as you left.
Poor spooky 5 me, dude.
But that is something only you know, so I don't know if you would let anybody else know that, or if you're just going to keep that to yourself.
I don't think anybody would believe me if I said that.
That's very true.
Well, you are very persuasive. Like, no, I mean it. Like,
Have you seen my last couple of rolls?
You could make the effort and then roll. I mean, I think that's fair.
No. There's no rolling to persuade other PCs.
Oh, okay.
It would have to be something.
Because, like, think about it. Let's not break character right now, actually. Let's just keep going forward, because if I think about it that way, they're just going to ruin my whole fun. Let's just go in. They're going to break my immersion.
Pyro is late. Sorry, Pyro.
I've attacked him.
And welcome.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so it seems that you guys have come to at least a tentative agreement on working with each other again. Arlo, do you share the fact that you have been pursuing Wood Elves to the other two?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna fill them in that, like, I've been pursuing the Wood Elves, but I see that there's a little disharmony going on with their trails. And then I share that maybe it could possibly be two different groups of Wood Elves working together, or that they are seeking to branch out but are still traveling together out of convenience.
Okay.
So do you guys stay here for the night to rest up, or do you head out immediately, or what do
It
you
sounds
guys
like it's
want to do?
freaking raining.
Is it raining outside? All I hear is horses.
I
No,
hear the
that's
fire.
that's fire.
It sounds like
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it sounds like a little bit of breeze going through the trees and the
Yeah.
fire.
I
Well-
can make it rainy if you'd like.
No.
Nope, it's fine. It's...
Can we go back to the image of the Oregon Trail now since we're all...
No.
Yeah, since we're all there, can we go back to the Oregon Trail?
No.
It's more accurate.
Yeah,
that's
you
more
made fun of it. You made fun of
What are the things that I love?
Well, I think just naturally, since him sitting down by the fire and everything, we share like the meat I have, and it's just like we're breaking camp again, and we're all going. I'll think my character would offer to do first watch, just since basically I'm already done sleeping. I mean, I only rest for like 4 hours.
it. Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna take the rest of the night to try and sleep. So
All right. If you guys are
Ooh.
gonna stay the
And
night,
then Mud shows
Ooh,
up.
Steve, can I finish my essentially leather fanny pack? If you remember
he's
me
wide
making it
awake.
last time.
yes.
It's it's something I kind of want to do in the secret. So like when I do it, like I've left the ring of the fire. I'm sitting in a tree, keeping watch.
Okay.
But this is a project that I'm hiding from everybody else.
Why?
Excellent. Let's say that the last 2 nights, when you have not been in your trance, you have been working on it, and you are almost finished. You are still threading the seams between the strap and the pouch that you had just created.
So let's have it because I literally worked with leather. I've made leather stuff in under 2 hours. Let's say I'm sewing in like secret. But
nice
I'm just
flex
saying.
there.
Boom. Anyways, how about I'm just like I want to be sewing in like secret pockets on this thing too.
Okay. Yeah, you can put in secret pockets. What would you say these secret pockets
Do? So
yes.
think of this belt almost like a luchador belt kind of thing. Like it's very
Okay.
I know it's weird. It sits underneath the shirt.
This is very
And it wraps
insensitive.
around and clasps at the back. And the pockets are on the inside of the belt. So like to access them, either I'd have to go up through the top or just take the belt off to access the things.
Okay.
And so there are obvious 2 flat little like they almost like look like pockets on the sides for putting stuff in, and then a pouch in the front to put stuff in. But the real gem is all the hidden stuff on the inside for hiding things. And since the way the belt is designed, they're kind of like it's a hard molded leather that's like kind of cushioned. So if I put something in there, it wouldn't break unless I was visibly kicked pretty hard by somebody in that spot or something.
Dang. Okay. All right. Since you've been working on it for the past few days, we'll say that you've got the fanny pack itself all made. But yeah, you are working on those secret pouches. And since they seem to be quite intricate.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, it'll
'Cause
take
I have
a
to
couple
mold the
days.
leather, which means I have to wet it, put it around like wood, and then let it dry.
Dang. Okay.
Stuff would be.
So would you say 2 days of that would be fair to complete it?
Yeah, to dry for sure.
Yes.
Maybe 3 days to do it total.
Okay. Yeah, 3 days total. Then we'll go on. So this will be day 1 for your secret pouchness.
Okay.
I don't like that
Um,
word.
And as you guys rest again, I will need Arlo and Timothy to make another wisdom saving throw.
Saving throw. Oh hell yeah!
Oh,
Oh,
wow, 21. 25.
25.
wow.
Wow, gosh.
Damn.
Safe from whatever beasties are happening right now.
You guys have rested uneventfully through the night.
And I had sweet dreams about Dave, the supposed knight back home. That you
He's a guard. Thank you.
The guard,
I
sorry.
have no illusions as to what.
Maybe he's a knight by now.
True, you don't know. He probably got promoted. You know what? You're putting him down right now. That's upsetting.
Damn it, Raffy! I just read your text.
You guys awake the next day, and I assume that you go off in pursuit of the Wood Elves again?
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
Okay. We are now past the con saving
My bad.
skill saving.
Yes.
Couldn't even.
The chase.
Yeah.
Yes, the chase.
We
Was it much of a
lost
chase?
horribly. Yeah. Gosh.
But as you guys
I'm
are
on a mission from
collectively
Dad.
making your way towards the Wood Elf party, I will need one of you to roll an investigation check.
Not me.
I honestly think in the situation it should be me since I'm the one like following the trail and everything.
I'm not doing it, so do it.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
roll it.
I'm here to at least help, yeah.
Well,
Oh.
Oh my.
Oh my god! Hold on. Places?
I was going to say, do you want to give a help action to that, Timothy?
No.
Please.
Yeah.
And if so, how would you go about doing that?
I don't think anybody can help this, honestly.
Well,
You just
mostly
climb on the
it
back and
was...
say, you know what? It happens to everybody.
I mean, I'm kind of taking what I've picked up from the area around me and still kind of trying to look for the common tracks or the common paths in the forest, but like the more heavily used ones and ones that look like they would probably be a little more spread out, like 2 or 3 people walking like side by side to get, or like a cart or something larger to be able to get through.
Okay. Then, yes, Arlo, I'll let you have advantage on this roll then.
Oh, thank goodness. All right, so I need another one. Here we go.
Yeah, true.
Here's another
Oh
one.
gosh.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, can we switch players right now?
I'm daydreaming about Dave right now.
Clearly.
Okay.
Dave the guardsman.
Okay, I was going to say the blade or the guard.
Sure.
In my mind, they become one and the same.
Oh gosh.
That's so
Dave
cool.
has inhibited the knife.
Oh gosh.
Inherited the knife.
Inhabited?
Inhabited. That's the word.
Oh my god. We went through the entire dictionary trying to figure that one.
My gosh, your character is rubbing off on you.
I don't think that's the opposite is true, actually. It just close ripping off on his character.
You notice nothing new about the tracks ahead of you, aside from what you've already discovered, that they seem to be not as cohesive as they were before.
Well, hold on a minute. If this is tracks, it'd be survival.
Are you just looking? No, I was doing investigation.
No, I'm saying like in D&D, it's
Here
survival
goes-
for tracks.
Here goes
That's why.
Foxy again, trying
No,
to DM the
Listen
group.
here. That's why you pump wisdom as a ranger, for you can do tracks and spells and stuff.
Hold on.
I feel like you're purposely handicapping my character.
Pyro asked the same thing, by the way, and they pretty much just said that we're doing investigation because you're a dick. So if you want to prove that you are a dick, then yeah, we'll keep
Well,
it.
either way, you still wouldn't have made it.
Well,
This is
he has
true.
got like +5. Oh, that's
I have a
what his rolls.
+4 on it.
So you would have had an 8.
So it would have been 8?
Um.
Can I roll investigation now since he's a failure? Let's see if I'm any better at it.
Okay, no, you're right. It does say specifically to follow tracks. I was doing investigation, though, to give you, because I wanted you to be looking at the nature of what the tracks were doing, not necessarily to pick up on whether there were tracks or not and whether you were following them. But
I
as
don't know
to-
if I'd qualify the same thing, but we can totally argue later. In fact,
Yeah,
I'd love
that's
to
right.
argue semantics later.
Yes.
But from here on, I suppose I will do survival for you.
I dropped my
Yeah.
fidget spinner, now I'm sad. Alright, I got it.
But also sets a good precedent for the campaign when I have
I'm right.
intelligence is one of my dump stats, but it's my most critical tracking stat.
That's
pretty
fair.
dumb. That's pretty dumb.
Okay, so you guys go through the day. You do your previous rolls have no effect on the effect on your pursuit. The four of you do manage to quickly gain on the wood elves. You are all on horses, by the way. So, and apparently, from what you can tell from the tracks,
No name.
the wood elves are on foot. So you are gaining ground even through the wooded areas. Okay. So
But I
it'll
noticed
be,
that the wood elves don't seem to be in a hurry.
even with an 8, no. You
Nice
don't
try.
notice any specific details like that. Just what you learned from before as to the lapse of cohesiveness. If you roll better, then you might get more details.
All right, that's
Yeah, roll better. Gosh.
Yeah.
fine. I'd rather
it is-
dump my bad rolls now as opposed to later.
True.
It is now
Me, on the
night
other
again.
hand.
Since this is taking a little bit longer than
You need to stop
the four
complaining.
of you may have anticipated, do you guys do anything to help your travels the next day? In terms of maybe doing something with the horses or doing something to make them. I would assume that you have been feeding them to some.
Oh, okay. I
to
just
some
was making
extent.
sure you weren't like making sure we fed them.
No,
I decide for the first time in 3
days.
days to feed my
Implied
horse.
actions. They're implied actions.
Yes,
That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping you were being that kind of DM that's like, oh, you haven't fed your horses in 3 days. They died.
They're dying right now.
They died of dysentery.
It just collapses underneath you. Your legs are broken.
Yeah, no, I will never ask if you guys have been feeding yourself or your animals. I assume that you have been satiating all natural bodily functions.
How do you know I haven't been fasting, huh? You're being very presumptuous right now.
Yeah, look, if you're fat,
Let's be real.
That's
Wood
your
elves
deal.
only use the bathroom once a month.
That's
I
actually
highly
gross.
doubt that, seeing as how they're surrounded by fiber.
Hold on, this new lore. We're making the new lore. This is the new book. This is gonna be 5e3. Wait, no. Yes.
One dump a month. The title of the next episode.
The
All right,
one
go on. What are we doing today?
So it is now nighttime. Is there anything you guys try to prep for yourselves for the next day?
I like to draw a smiley
to give
face
your-
on the pot.
Okay.
I've already done that though.
You have humanized the cooking pot. I like it.
God.
I can't think of anything, other than
Okay.
eating and getting a good night's sleep.
There's not. I mean,
Yeah.
could technically prepare weapons, making sure they're all sharp, but I don't have really a weapon. I have a quarterstaff, so that doesn't matter to me.
All right, then I will assume that you guys go first.
I would like to sleep, yes. It is part of my nature to sleep.
All right, then I will need Arlo and Timothy to give me another wisdom saving throw.
Oh, can I figure out what these wisdom saving throws are for?
No, you have no idea that they're happening.
There's that TV4 says Squeak the Warrior.
What?
24. My God.
What is
happening?
happening?
Good
You
lord.
am so smart.
The two of you again have an uneventful night, and the next day you can tell that you are definitely beginning to close in on the wood elves. It should only be another day or two, depending on the freshness of the tracks, that you should be able to catch up to them. But if you'd like, you can do a survival check to see if anything's changed about the tracks or if there's anything else interesting or of note.
He does.
There we go.
16? Okay. So you can definitely tell by the growing light of the day and taking a fresh pair of eyes on the tracks themselves, you can see that there are fewer. They are not only disorganized at this point, they seem to be kind of weaving in and out of the trees, back in on the main line and then out again, seeming to go a little further with each pass. And as you guys go further on, as you set out in the for your pursuit for the day, you come across their camp, or one of their camps.
And I'm sure it's at this point, as soon as you said that, I think I would have pulled Timothy aside, like before we got to the camp, and be like, "Now you've been in combat before. You've seen routes. Does this look like someone being pursued? Because to me, this looks like game being chased."
I think back over just kind of what we've seen and what we've been through, tracking it all. Does it strike me as anything that looks like we've been, I don't know, played, I guess? Like they're onto us?
No. They do not seem like they would have any reason to suspect that you four specifically are after them.
Okay.
This was still a couple days ago, this campsite, in terms of how recently it was used.
Okay. I turn back to him and say, it seems good to me. I don't think they know we're here. I don't think they know we're coming.
I don't think it's us. These tracks are way too old for that. I think they're being chased by something. But I don't see any tracks of anything. But this is not typical behavior. They should be moving in single file line. I think what I mistook for them separating was them hurrying and panicking. I don't know. I honestly think we should be keeping our eyes open.
All right.
So we just jump into the... Oh, it's Leap.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
So I think at this point I'm like encouraging them to hurry up because I'm getting a haste feeling like something's very wrong.
Okay.
So I think we're riding horses, right?
Yeah.
You are riding horses, yes.
Yeah.
That's why you were able to
Well,
On a
make
horse,
ground
right?
on them.
horses and a
Catch up.
pony, but
Yes, horses and a pony, but
That's
the
true.
ground is being gained nonetheless.
All right, I think at this, I don't know about you guys. I'm like, how to say this? We need to hurry our pace. That's just it, flat out. Something is very wrong here. I'm worried about this. Corpses won't give us the tale we need to hear.
And since you did come upon their camp, and with that 16 survival, I will also say that you notice a couple tracks seem to have completely broken off from the main party from this campsite, and they seem to just go off in completely different directions into the woods.
All right.
they're scattering. Why?
Yeah. Because I think they're running. I think they're
No.
running from something.
If they're being hunted, wouldn't there be the tracks of the hunter?
That's why I'm
Behind
confused.
them, yes.
Yeah.
Or are we the hunter?
They would not be scared of us. I'm just putting that out there right now.
They would not be very scared of us, not knowing who we were and seeing there's just
I
four
have
of
the
us.
hiccups now.
Yeah.
They must have heard of my trials in combat.
I tap him on the shoulder. Yes.
Your trials.
Sure they have.
That you mean your feats in combat?
Can we loot their campsite to see if there's
Those
anything
two.
interesting or if there's any clues as to what's going on?
Yeah,
Yes, definitely give me an investigation check for that.
I want to look around and more
So it would be-
specifically for anything that is like not elf tracks. And
I would like to do the same.
I'm going to look for little keepsies.
All right, everybody rolls an investigation check.
Here we go, baby.
Roll investigation.
Me first.
That's 7 for Tim.
Wow. I rolled a one.
Oh snap!
18
Yeah,
for
good
Arlo.
Hell yeah, 15.
Got a -1.
15 for Quills.
My rolling
Salazar.
sucks.
Oh, and Nev, yeah, you got
Nev,
5. Oh,
natural
God.
ones.
Oh, natural 1, you're right. Oh,
I found pain.
I found pain.
Yes, this
now
dirt
that
is
Embedded
dirt.
in the mud.
He just reached his hand into a bag and it was full of glass shards.
How would we got shards?
Neff, you are looking through the campsite, and
Oh,
you've
boy.
come upon a bundle of leaves that seem to have been wrapped up
I'm not
inside.
excited for this.
one of the small little lean-tos that have been created haphazardly. You think that this might be a bundle of herbs that can like help out the party with tonight's dinner, or they may be even medicinal in purpose.
Oh, boy.
But a few minutes after touching the herbs, you realize that your hands are beginning to itch.
Oh, boy.
And you start to break out in hives on your hands. Your other party mates realize that is poison ivy that you're handling, and you definitely seem to be allergic to it.
Who'd have guessed?
Nothing more negative happens than you are deeply uncomfortable right now.
Can you use Hellish Rebuke on it?
On your hands? On the poison ivy?
Yes.
You can try. It is not super effective.
Oh. It's fire! Hold on.
You want to like fire your hands?
I'm gonna warm them up.
Okay. All right. Well,
Just leave me alone. Just keep going.
Can I just due to recommendation from chat? Can I roll a nature check to see if
No.
there's anything I can notice about what could be chasing them? Like,
yes, you
was-
can definitely do that.
Yeah,
Persuade
mine
me
was
that you can do that check.
mine was
Well,
for
can we finish our
anything.
investigations first?
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
I
real,
want to know
though.
what little trinkets I found.
Okay.
That's
We'll
true.
go down the line. So, Timothy, you were just looking for things that were useful in the camp.
I was looking for anything that seemed out of place in terms of like, I guess in terms of like tracks or something that seemed out of place for elves. I was looking for evidence that they were being chased by something.
Okay. Then you don't, with 11, you don't pick up any signs that they were being attacked, at least at this campsite.
Okay.
And you cannot pin down possibly any reason why there seems to be people just abandoning the campsite.
All right.
Foxy Freedom or Arlo with your 18, what was your specific intent?
I wanted to just investigate the camp to see if I see anything out of the ordinary or anything that could have been useful left behind, and or, just basically everything at this point, it seems like. Or something that would give me a clue as to the nature of their flight.
Okay, with an 18, you can see that there was definitely no struggle here at this campsite. From the tracks, it almost looks as if they just up and left. And
Are they running? Are they walking?
it was definitely just walking. They seemed very casual about it. There's not a lot of broken twigs or disturbed forestry. I was looking for a better word than that, and there does not seem like they were running for their lives, as it were. It seems that they just walked away. And it seems that the rest of the party did not attempt to follow them.
That's really okay. That's interesting. I'm quite perplexed as a character and as a player. Do I see? Did they leave behind anything? Any clues? Anything?
You can see the remains of their lean-tos, and a couple of them seem to have continued the tradition of sleeping in trees. But you can tell that they seem to be huddling together more now. And there seems to be a much more... you can tell just by... they seem to have set up stakes as well on the outside perimeter of the campsite. None of which seem to be disturbed in any way. But you can tell that they were definitely seem to be more in a set of mind to guard themselves and to be aware of their surroundings.
Okay, so if I'm thinking of any kind of like forest creature or spirit or something that's like a natural fear of wood elves, would I roll like a nature check to see if I could recall something like that? Or would that be like is there a history? Oh, there's a history.
There's a history. I would go with either, since it is your history, or your mythology at the very least. That would certainly.
I want my investigation
yes, and
check.
we need to do Salazar. Salazar is looking for trinkets.
These are just bullying the poor man.
Salazar, you definitely notice, for certainly the sharpened stakes outside. They were well sharpened.
I had an investigation of 15, sir. I don't want a sharpened stick. I'm not that dumb.
Look, they're nice sticks and they're well sharpened.
They didn't leave anything behind.
No,
Maybe if I rolled a 5.
you notice
love those sticks.
that one of the lean-tos seems to have been abandoned as well, with its contents inside. You can also maybe possibly surmise with a 15 that it may have even been one of the people who left in the party, one of the couple tracks that had left, and the rest of the party seems to have not touched any of what they had.
I rolled a 12 for history.
12 for history. There is something that you remember from your childhood tales, but you can't quite put your finger on it. But you know that there is something wrong here, and that there is some story that you remember that kind of is. There's looking around you, you see kind of a lot of this sounding almost familiar to you, but you don't know what. And then Salazar, you notice inside that there is like a knapsack in the lean-to and a bedroll. And the knapsack seems to have food provisions. It has some loose arrowheads, and there is a bow there as well. Nothing besides one dagger for cutlery of any sort, or anything like swords. It was just the dagger and the bow.
Do I see him picking up this dagger and bow? And
No,
everything?
you do not.
You're gonna have to roll a perception
I'm a
check
sneaky
on
little
that.
bitch. Make it DC 15.
No, 12. Ooh.
15.
I was gonna say, would it be versus his sleight of hand, or?
Yes, it would.
No, because I'm just trying. I'm not like trying to stop him.
Well,
I
no.
just want to know if I see him
Right.
find this like abandoned gear.
He's taller than you.
You
can't see anything.
definitely notice that Salazar is looking
Hey, Arlo, look at this bow I found.
Yes, you see him looking extensively through a lean-to, but you don't know
I'm
what
like
he's
you.
looking at.
All right,
Oh,
I walk
gosh.
over just to investigate.
And I
the scene
start
as
like
well.
pretending to shoot him with my new bow, with no arrows, right?
I draw my bow.
I'm making little explosion noises.
Oh god. Hey, Salazar, did you find that bow in that lean-to?
I sure did.
No wood elf would ever leave their bow behind.
Well,
Boys,
it's mine. You can't have it.
I don't know, honestly, if you'd want it. Boys, something's really wrong here. No wood elf in their right mind would just get up in the middle of the night, leave all their provisions and tools behind, including their bow, and walk off into the night. All of this, there's something wrong here.
How
And I
many
can't put my
arrows?
finger on it, but I know something is wrong.
Can't put my fingers on anything. They're itching so much.
Okay.
Hey, Steve, real quick, how many arrows were there?
Sure.
There was a baker's dozen. No, it was an actual dozen.
Third.
No, Baker's dozen.
He said
Baker's dozen.
bakers. I got 13.
All right, 13 arrows.
You
I,
can't tease me with pastries like that.
I look
The
over at
baker's
Arlo
dozen.
and
Yeah, the
say,
baker's
Because it's
dozen.
the one extra for the baker to taste, you fool.
Oh, that makes
You're
more
welcome. I
sense
just
now.
scienced the shit out of you. Let's keep going.
You did science the shit out of me.
valid. I look over at Arlo and say, you can't quite put your finger on it. I can't
No,
find
this-
anything around here that suggests at least anything physical
Yeah, I'll be honest.
coming
This-
coming and attacking them or coming and hunting them.
This I swear, my parents told me of something that's a lot like this, of some sort of horror that chases. But I don't understand why we've got wood elves leaving. Why they're abandoning not only their tribe, but their gear and everything else. We don't separate. We move together. This doesn't make any sense.
Can I try and see if I can sense anything or either sense or pick up anything spiritual that might be happening with this in the area?
You don't have to roll for this. I'll just tell you that you do not.
Okay.
There does not seem to be anything spiritual or magical that you can catch in the air.
Okay.
Can I sniff the air?
Why?
Yeah, you can sniff the air. I mean,
Why?
I assume you're kind of doing that passively.
Can I get an explanation?
I'm gonna take in a good sniff.
Okay. What are you looking for
I see him
here?
doing that, and I try.
The stench
I
of
quick
a
fart.
beast.
The stench of a beast. Okay.
Can you even smell
then
that?
Give me a nature check.
Woo! 2020. Oh, 8.
You just smelled the woods around you.
You just smell something.
Are you
Smells-
okay?
and your own musk, which
the
is
smell of the
Your
forest.
own musk. It's pine tar.
no.
Go to
it's-
drsquatch.com.
It just smells like a recently used campsite to you, and some decaying foliage around you, and not much else of note outside of that.
Guys, we need to catch up to these wood elves. We need to see what's going on. Normally, I'd want to chase after the stragglers to see what became of them, but honestly, I'm quite concerned as I don't know what mental state they're in.
I'm not sure we're gonna find them.
Yeah, or if we'd find them at all. Let's just find the main group, and either we can help them with whatever's going on, or we can finally get the answers that we're seeking.
Let's do it.
Where are they headed?
Ointment.
They are heading directly into the Middle Seed Forest. At this campsite, you are just within the boundaries of the Wood Elven wider realm and the Middle Seed Forest, and they appear to be going deeper into it.
Gotcha. I think at this time I want to explain some customs of the Wood Elves, for my comrades. Not have your weapons where they're easily drawn. Walk along the path. Don't try to sneak.
Can I ignore him? 'Cause I think his
Explaining there are
conversation is
watchers
boring.
in the trees. There's watchers on the edges of the realms. We patrol our territory, and it's best to look non-hostile as we march through, and wait until we're approached, as opposed to looking like we're trying to sneak in or do something nefarious. Wood Elves are obviously very xenophobic with everything that's been going on, and it is your time now to understand my people's customs. So if you have weapons, anything,
Like this
they must-
bow?
like that bow, which give that to me. I'll just hold on to it until we're out of the woods. I don't think it's good for.
Better give this back to me.
I promise you, I'll give this wood elf bow back. But a human
I have
cannot
your
be
word.
carried. You have my word.
You
but-
told me you stick to your word.
I stick to my
Oath.
word. Yeah.
Maker.
And I instruct them that they should only have hand axes and daggers on their belts, and the rest of their weapons should be on their saddlebags.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Oh shit, that's a wolf.
Since this has basically been your day, do you guys stay the night, or do you continue on?
Now, normally I would recommend we rest and move on, but I think we should keep going.
Okay.
I think time is of the essence in this one. I don't know about everybody else though.
Well, I'm still feeling pretty good about tracking. I mean,
Okay.
caught
My
up
hands
to you
itch.
guys.
My hands itch. He's just riding the horse, but he's like, ow, 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 ow.
Just constantly
Now,
scratching.
since you guys are going to pursue them through the night, it will be definitely harder to keep to the trail that they've set out before you. So I think to make this fair, if you guys are to get to them this night, since you are pretty close behind them from what you can tell, you will have to do a survival check for this through the night, and it will be a DC 15
Oh boy.
to see if you
All
can
of
get
us?
them.
Wait, what are we
No,
doing?
it'll be just for one of you, but if you would like to do a help action in some fashion, you also have your inspiration. You just give me an explanation as to.
Are you trying to make him use the inspiration?
I mean, we have it. We might as well use it.
You can also,
We
if you're
need
going to do a help action, then explain as to what you're doing for your help action as well.
So I'll roll the survival.
I will do nothing.
And it's to just making sure it's to
keep to the trail of the
okay.
Wood Elves through the night. And if you do successfully manage to keep to the trail, it is almost certain that you will catch up to them.
fair enough.
Would I be able to go just keep to the trail due to my now superior dark vision? Like I have dark vision beyond.
Am I now superior dark vision?
Oh, it is.
I'm gonna.
You do have dark vision. That's right.
No, I have
Most
I
of us
have-
have dark vision.
even
That's
better
true.
dark vision.
Well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you have a heightened dark
My
vision.
Gloomstalker trait.
I'm aware
Okay.
of this.
Hmm.
I'm just saying, the way you said it just made you sound so superior.
No,
So,
Pyro,
hold on.
you're a liar. Let me. He says I would like to suggest.
Hold on! No! I agree with this! I agree with this!
Nice.
Yes!
I would like to
Oh,
suggest the best
yes.
use of inspiration, giving Arlo disadvantage on sexuality checks.
I agree with this.
Oh goodness! All right, back to
Everyone
the
hates-
story.
Okay.
I'm gonna
so-
go ahead. I do want to try and help. I will. We are traveling through the night.
Yes, I will
Cool.
say then, Arlo, if you were the one who will be leading this, it'll just be a DC 10.
So I'm
Hell
gonna.
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can help. Pull out a torch, light it, and cast thaumaturgy. To make the flames kind of brighten, so he can get a better view of.
Oh,
Of the
it does
path.
work, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So you definitely light the
see.
path. And okay,
Well,
yeah.
now he does
so
too.
That's true. So Arlo, you will have advantage on this roll then, due to even in the you can see further out with your night vision,
With your nose so bright.
but you can also
With
see
the burning
very,
sun to my back. Yeah.
you can also see very clearly
Now that
what
the
is
rain
near
is
to you
gone.
as well.
All right.
I
Even
can
more
see
clearly what is
all
near to you.
Obstacles in my way. 12.
Nice.
Okay, roll advantage as well.
Nice.
16 and
What is
22.
22?
Yeah.
Okay, with Arlo guiding the way and with Timothy's light making sure that nobody gets lost on the way there, because I believe Salazar does not have dark vision in any way.
He's the only one that does not have dark vision.
Yes. It's a nice little beacon to stay by for Salazar so he does not get lost in the woods by himself.
I think I lost anyway, I'm sure.
And you guys make your way through the
Down.
night.
Damn it.
And as the dawn approaches, Arlo, with a 22, you see that the tracks suddenly stop ahead of you in a small clearing within the woods. I will just have Arlo, since he is ahead, roll a perception check for me.
13.
13. You notice that the tracks have stopped, but you do not notice anything else around you, and so you are not given enough time to react as you hear from around you several voices yell out, "Stop!"
Oh, I stop. I stop and I just put my hands out to my sides.
What are
And
you
you
doing?
see several bows peek out from the trees around you.
Wow, literally
Okay.
the scene.
Yeah, look.
Only one of us
actually-
with their hands up.
I've stopped at the same time. I'm still holding the torch, but
Oh my god.
And you see
It's Assassin's Creed.
one of the hooded figures from the trees yells out, "Drop your weapons and keep your hands where we can see them."
I oblige.
I mean, I guess why not? I'd rather not die today.
I mean,
Me too.
I'm allergic to death, surprisingly.
I've had my hammers on my horse, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take the hand axes off my belt.
You're gonna drop the pony on the floor, drop the hammer.
You push the horse on the ground. Get down.
Oh yeah, I'll take the hand
Hands up,
axes
horse.
off and set the torch down.
Are they speaking Elvish?
No.
No, they're speaking common.
Okay.
We would have put an accent if they were.
You hear that same voice say, "Get off the horses."
I obliged again.
Mm-hmm.
I get off the horses.
I'm upset about it, but I'll get off my horse.
Do you complain on your way down? Because you have
Of course I do.
And with that, you see one of the presumed elves drops down from a low branch that they were sitting on and approaches you with a bow not quite drawn, but with an arrow notched and ready to be drawn and loosed in a moment.
Look at the word the arrow knocked. Oh, whatever. I don't know bow terminology.
I mean,
no, that's right.
it's
Knocked
a
is
notch.
right.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's-
notch
it's
that
a- it's
when
a
you
notch?
knock it.
No, you knock it. It's a notch
Yes.
and you knock it.
Ah,
Okay.
I learned something new today, everyone.
So we were both wrong.
No, you were right. I was
And both right.
No,
But
there can only be one.
you see this elf approach your group and looks at each of you. You can tell that it is a male elf, and who seems to be, even at a casual glance, worse for wear. He seems to be haggard looking. There are deep bags under his eyes. And you can see that his grip on his bow is not as firm as you would think it should be. His arms are shaking ever so slightly.
All right. Well, howdy there, partner. Or look at you in the eyes. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but we've been on your trail for a couple of days now, and I've been noticing something quite peculiar. We obviously are gonna oblige with everything you have to say. I understand that we are trespassing, and I would like to activate the right of hospitality. I promise that my people and none of them will harm you, and as long as you extend that same right to us, we will do everything in our power to help you out of your current plight.
Why is he speaking Elvish? I mean, they clearly spoke.
Shh, hey,
I just kind of smack Neff.
Were you like kind of like getting closer to be like friendly about it? Like, oh,
no,
you know,
I stayed
no.
exactly where I was.
Okay, all right.
As I said, before, I understand that I'm a trespasser. Like, I made
Okay.
it clear.
He looks at you and takes in what you said. Well, I'm not. You said you were pursuing us. Why is that?
Well, I had a little run-in with a little human village here on about 4 days journey or 5 days journey back.
When you say the words "human village" a few days back, he immediately draws his bow back and knocks it right at your forehead.
Whatever you're saying, please stop it.
Say
I'd rather
something
not die
else. Say
today.
something else. Say
hold on,
something else.
hold on. I
The
am.
fuck you said you came from?
Language.
You
Well,
don't understand me.
I'll be honest.
I don't
It's more
understand,
like
but anyway,
ran
sorry.
from. I ran from this village.
Did you interact with that village?
Oh, well,
Did
I
you
did.
touch any of them?
I threw a knife at a kid, and I killed their mayor. I'll be 100% honest with you. It was not a pleasant interaction. It was pure adrenaline-fueled mistakes and aggression.
It was a common misunderstanding.
Oh gosh, no!
Yeah, all in all, I have to say is we are not friends of this village, but we've learned that there had been elven raids, supposedly, and other such things. And
you see his face at the mention of that grows a little darker, and
now I understand, trust me, as your fellow brother, that I know that they lie, and I know that they say what they want to say, and that they do not respect our ways and our customs. But I'm just here to understand, to rectify, and to help out in any way I can to my people. And at that point, I don't know what a sign of respect is in Elvish. I did not think
The
anywhere.
middle finger.
I pop him the bird. Which
the bird
is
is definitely still an offensive gesture.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
I don't pop the bird. That's not canon. I bow and I stay bowed.
Okay. You see this wood elf
Are we supposed to do that too?
looks at your bowed state, and he looks at the rest of you, and this time he says in common, have any of you, and be honest, for if we catch a hint of a lie about any of you, we will put you down. Have any of you been acting out of the ordinary in the
Define
last
out
several
of
days?
define out of the ordinary, please.
Yeah, we're traveling with a country bumpkin. That's for sure.
Have you been distant? Have you isolated yourself? Have you been prone to going off into the woods?
No, absolutely not.
No.
No.
Should I be?
We got a country bumpkin, a city slicker who can't do nothing in the woods. I mean, just look at his hands. And the dwarf here has remained a loyal companion who's stayed with us this entire time.
Wait, which
Hey,
one
we
is
got
the
nice things.
pumpkin?
At this, he seems to relax a little bit. He definitely still has that bow ready to go, but it's now released a little bit and is pointed a bit off to the side. It's not ready for a instant death for Arlo.
Now,
Can I convince him otherwise?
my brother, my friend, as I said before, we are invoking the right of hospitality, and I'd like to know at this time if that would be honored, or if we would like to remain as co-travelers on this trip.
You're about to say co-conspirators.
I was.
He looks at the four of you and he says in common, now, fellow wood elf, I do not know after the past couple of weeks that we have experienced that anything like the rite of hospitality holds weight. We need to, more now than ever, look to our own.
And I can definitely respect that. We will.
Why do you keep going back to Elvish? What the fuck?
Because I'm talking to a fellow elf.
He's speaking in common.
I know he's speaking in common, but I'm talking to an elf, you
He's
know?
making it more complicated for all of us. Can I stab him?
All right. I look back and I see that Neff is being a little bitch. And so I say, we will comply to anything you have to say. We will do our very best to be hospitable, if not in the regards of hospitality. But we understand that we are trespassing on your lands, and that we are only here to provide whatever aid and assistance we can and get to the bottom of whatever's happening in this region.
As long as I don't get arrows in me, I also agree. Please speak common. I don't quite understand the Elvish.
The wood elf looks to you, Neff, and nods his head politely.
Thank
out of
you.
courtesy, I
You're
will
such a dear.
I will
I
say
flip-
to the
I-
common tongue.
I scratch my back, but as I do so, I flip off Neff.
Rude. Awfully rude.
Though it is always nice to see a fellow wood elf, I do understand that not all of ours, all of the other peoples, carry on in a more civilized tongue.
Ouch.
It's a barbaric tongue. You guys sound like you're growling. Let's be real. All you do is talk through your nose all day.
Unlike us.
Yes. Unlike us.
But it is good to hear that you are here to aid us in our troubles, you say, correct?
That is correct.
Where do you come from?
We come. Oh gosh, guys, what's the name of the city we came from?
I don't remember.
Ambar. It's literally the top left corner, the Ambar Saga.
Gotcha.
Okay, we'll write it down. So write it down. Hold on.
Well, at this point in time, I can explain, at least for myself, that I had fallen on hard times after losing my tribe, and have been hired by
Veridin.
Oh, okay, thank you. Veridin Trading Company.
Disembodied voice says.
Benevolent DM.
There you go.
A Veridin Trading Company that resides in Ambar to investigate what had happened to their assets near here, about a week's travel. Because that's right, because we veered off, right, Steve?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. About a week's travel. Is it north, south? What direction is it?
You are going east. Northeast, specifically.
Okay. So about a week's
Northwest.
travel northeast of here to figure out why their operations in the woods had ceased and what had become of it, because it was all very hush-hush. That her uncle-
the research facility would now be northwest of you. You guys went further east in pursuit of the elves.
Okay, well, I explained that with the proper directions and everything else.
Okay.
That some misguided members of her family had instigated before our benefactor had taken control of her company.
You see that the Wood Elf actually grows even more relaxed at the mention of the Veridin Trading Guild. And he even gives a small smile to your group and says, "The Veridin Trading Guild, I had actually, our tribe had very good relations with your trading guild not a decade ago. And we had been one of the initial contacts, I believe, from their previous leader in establishing some trade connections until everything dried up suddenly and out of nowhere. But until that time, they were nothing but gracious and warm to our people. And so any person of the Veridin Trading Guild is a welcome sight indeed to me and my own.
Baller. Shot caller.
So your mission to come out here was to investigate us? Were you to open up?
It was to investigate what was going on in the. Oh, I'm talking Elvish. It was to investigate what was going on in the woods. There was a installation out there, and maybe you'd know more than I do. But there was an installation that was withheld kind of in secrecy from the confidence of the rest of the members of the guild that was developing something that we believe to be nefarious in nature, and we're looking to salvage the operation, recover what we can, and shut it down.
This does sound like interested in noble goal for your party. Now the DM's just patting himself on the back.
Good for you.
Yes, good plot line, Steve.
Well, honestly, before I hate to interrupt you. I understand that's not very polite, but we have purposely sidetracked our mission to help you. I cannot leave a brother, even if he is a more distant cousin from my forest, alone in their hour of need.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. And I have heard of this facility. I believe it resides in the town of Ashbourne.
Well, how about after we assist you and help you out, if you wouldn't mind sparing at least one scout or two, just so that they don't travel alone, to lead us to this facility, we'd be great. It'd be greatly appreciated.
In normal times, brother, I would certainly be willing to help in that regard, but we are severely undermanned. I fear. Uh, as you can see around us, you see the rest of the elves. He gives a small hand signal, and you see 4 other elves appear from the woods surrounding your little clearing. As you can see, we are 5, but when we had initially set out from our tribe, there had been 40.
Oh shit! Sorry, let me say that in Elvis. Oh shit!
Oh shit, indeed. He returns to common.
We break just to say oh shit.
We had been initially a trading party. After the initial contacts with your trading guild seemed to have fallen through, we thought that the idea itself still had merit, and had decided to reach out to the local villages and small settlements in the area to possibly establish some mutually beneficial trading relations. And we were such a party that had gone out. And as we had set out, we had come across. Hold on, I need to change things up a little bit here.
You're good. I gotta use the bathroom, so I'll be back in like 30.
30? Okay.
30 minutes.
30 minutes. That's fine, you know.
See you later, kids.
Hold on one sec. What is the one? We had set out from our tribe not 2 weeks ago, and initially the trading venture had gone quite well. We had met a couple of our usual villages to the south, but it was as we were turning back north towards Ashbourne that we stopped across a small village along the way that seemed to be acting strangely to us as from our previous visit. In this village, they had grown quite warm to our presence, which not 5 years ago would have been an uncanny sight indeed, to have such a village welcome wood elves into their own with open arms. But this time, they seemed not only distant, but all pervasively close at the same time. Emotionally, it was as if they'd gone a bit dead in their spark for whatever had made them warm to us to begin with was just cold, but not unwelcome.
Did it seem unnatural?
It was unnerving. It was certainly unnerving to us to begin with. And we had planned to stay the night for there, and we had begun to set aside our things to camp outside of their village for the night when the first incident happened, and we saw in the middle of the night set upon us multiple villagers came into our camp site and
throwing rocks. I understand.
Hold on.
No, they did not attack us, as it were, with weapons. They just grappled with us and dragged us down and away into the woods towards their village. As soon as we realized what they were doing, we fought tooth and nail, and we cut down many of them, but we lost several of our own in the night. And we decided to pursue them, but we did not find any trace of the kidnappers nor the kidnapped. It was almost as if they had disappeared into the night. And that was only the first incident. We broke camp as soon as that had happened and ran. And as we ran, we passed to another village to seek aid, only to have them do the same thing to us, attacking us not in the middle of the night, but in brazen daylight, trying to hold us each down and drag us away into their dwellings. And suffice to say, I've lost many, many good friends. After that day, we kept to the woods. But that was not the end. After that, it was as if something different pursued us. Something not what... It was no bear. It was no beast that I'm familiar with, but it was huge. And it was just so powerful. It seemed to just take us at will, with ease, into the night. And so we decided to never rest from that moment on, to always run, because we could not stop what was after us.
Did it have
And
shape
even
or
then-
form?
Sorry, go ahead.
Did it have shape or form?
It was hard to make out. It always attacked during the night when our own fire would wash out our vision. And it seemed to be the size of two men on top of each other.
Now, Ryan,
Why are you laughing?
ignore everything I just said. That was
You're
not-
such an
not
asshole.
It was the size of two Ryans. And
Salazar,
What,
please.
is it a piggyback,
God.
or is it like they're standing on each other's shoulders?
How about you stop asking questions and let him tell his fucking story?
Sorry.
God damn.
it was huge in body mass.
That was huge.
And it seemed it did not have any fur on it, from what we could tell. And I did not hear this, but he turns to one of the elves, who nods back. Esri here heard it mutter, moan the word home, as it took one of our own away.
You say hole or home?
Home.
Home.
And since then, I believe we have shaken off its pursuit, but that was when there were still 10 of us. Since then, for reasons that I cannot explain, the others have just walked away. They seem fine one day. They see themselves. The next, they begin to grow distant. They begin to stay inside of their camps. They don't want any contact with the rest of us. And this time I did hear one of them whisper in their sleep home. The day before she walked away. Again, we tried to find them, but only briefly, in fear of what was presumably still chasing us. and we could not find them. They just seemed to have walked off into the night when no one was looking.
Did this monstrosity, this monster, did it leave any kind of track at all? Any kind of trace? Did it move trees and break branches, or did it just simply pass through whatever it touched?
It certainly was physically present, if that is what you were getting at. It moved the forest around it, I suppose. But it was just, for something of that size, it was unnaturally graceful and stealthy. It frankly caught us off guard, us native wood elves off guard on multiple occasions. It's as if it's the most natural predator I've ever seen.
Haha, that you've never seen.
Oh gosh.
Please stop talking.
I just
Please
put my
stop
hands
talking.
in my head. Or my
Please stop talking.
head in
Ignore
my
him.
hand.
Ignore him, please. Please continue.
Just shake my head in disappointment.
Guys,
Guys.
yeah.
Shh. Now's not the time, Salazar. Oh, okay.
But if you are here to truly help us, then I believe that it is of the utmost importance that for my fellows and you as well to join us. We need to get back to our tribe to warn them of what is happening in this area and to warn them of that creature, because I believe it will not stop until we are all taken.
My only fear with that is I understand that you're trying to guard the tribe, but would it not be better if we simply tried to kill the beast?
They
Before it
started
can-
with 40.
I do understand that, but I'm scared that if we bring it back to the tribe, that it'll know where they are and then it can continue to wreak havoc and pick people off at its whim.
Do you have any way of tracking it? I mean, we barely know what it is.
No,
And
we always find initial tracks around our campsite, but it always seems to vanish in some fashion. I don't know if it's using the trees themselves to travel or if it's using some other means, but it's almost as if it is a part of the forest, for a lack of a better term. It knows these woods better than anything that I have ever seen.
Well, have we awoken some sort of ancient forest spirit?
What do you mean we?
We, civilization, people.
Oh,
We've woken what should not have been woken.
the royal we. I'm surprised you knew that.
It's
I scratched my back again.
That's a good dynamic
It's-
we got.
I don't know, honestly, but this almost reminds me of an old wives' tale, of an old fairy tale, of a cataclysm, a catastrophe, a disaster that has been taught down through our stories, that speaks of a great time when the world faced an evil that we cannot comprehend. Not truly. It takes what it wills, and it transforms what it has. But that has always been a tale to tell around campfires of monsters in the dark that do not really exist in such all-consuming scale. But after what we have been through, I cannot put any other words to what I have been through, to what we have been through. It has been everywhere, and it seems to not stop until we are all with it, till we're all taken. But if we are to have any hope of standing against this thing, we need to get to the tribe. We need to marshal our warriors around us. 40 was only a fraction of what we could bring to bear. We could bring hundreds, and we can take this thing down with numbers, if nothing else. And after that, investigate, and if
Sorry, I think you cut out
I think
there.
you're cutting out too.
It's cutting out. Oh no!
am I cutting out?
Yeah.
No, no.
Hold on, that never
It's
happened.
like cut, and we're like, no,
The monster's got you.
no.
Hey, edit that in post, please.
Everybody's cutting out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We're dying.
Discord is dying,
Coronavirus.
boys.
Okay.
How's
you
that
guys are
suit
coming in-
work?
You guys are coming in fine right now.
Maybe
Good.
you're just a loser.
Where did I cut off at?
I don't fucking remember. You think that's
It was
You
something
said,
about
like, your
after
last
you had
sentence or
100
two.
people, we take them out with numbers only, and then.
Yes.
And then you're
And
talking about
then-
you owed me $50.
And then we will go to the villages and investigate if this spell, if this disease, if this I don't know what it is, has overtaken them. And if so, we need to put them down. Because this seems to be spreading. Or at the very least, is very widespread already.
Can I do an insight check? I don't doubt he believes what he's saying, but I'm wondering if he's like also been possessed by this thing.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be like magic detect though?
Try to
you
just.
If you have detect magic, you can also cast that. I mean,
I'm
that
just
doesn't
saying.
require a check.
I don't have detect magic.
I don't, but I was thinking, let it be. But regardless, continue.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. With the 16, you don't know. You like you said before, you definitely believe what that he believes what he is saying is true. And from what you can see around you, and just the state that him and the rest are in, that you don't have any reason to doubt that they have been through a extreme ordeal. It looks like none of them have slept in days. And they look gaunt and worse for wear, even for elves.
Me.
And that is gaunt even for elves, I should say. You can't, from your insight, you can at least tell that he is not lying to you. At the very least, he looks and seems to have been through something horrible.
Okay. I think at this time, I'm gonna like go back to my pack and I offer them all the remaining bits of my smoked meat that I had,
Okay.
and say I'm will help, like just kind of like a prom. I'm gonna do this totally like the bro handshake, you know, where like you clasp each other's forearms. It's like, we'll get you home.
Oh, he's hitting on another one.
They each
I need a
gratefully.
little charisma.
Oh
Oh,
gosh.
yep. With the 13 charisma.
Don't you roll against it?
That's right. That's how we do it. All right. Oh my god, I get to roll.
How exciting!
He's a wood elf, and he's just an elf in general. So they typically have they are typically a little bit more
Charismatic.
charisma. Yeah, charismatic.
There you
So
go.
I'll just
I
say
got
he has a +2.
I got a dictionary for you right here, buddy.
Thank you for being my encyclopedia, Brown.
That's mean because I am brown.
Oh. So I guess I don't find him very attractive, or
No.
I do.
You don't.
You like him for
I
his
mean-
personality, but that's about.
I like him as a brother. That's it.
You like him as a brother. You just don't think.
Friend zone again.
You just don't think that.
He can compare to Dave.
Yeah, you've got a type clearly already, and that is guardsman. And you can't really rationalize with your feelings that a wood elf, like a ranger trading person, can like correlate with a guard. And also, he looks terrible right now. I mean, which is really hard to do for an elf. Like they usually look gorgeous regardless of the circumstances, but he somehow does not.
Mm. Okay. But anyways, we totally do the bro. Is that this all took place in the bro handshake?
All this analyzing, there's math going on in your head. Is he cute though? Is he a snack? No.
No,
He's a
definitely
brother.
not a snack.
That's it.
Looks traumatized. Would be inappropriate.
Would be inappropriate.
Would still smash if I had nothing else. Way to break the tension, man.
I got you guys.
So they each take a portion of your smoked meat, and they each thank you gratefully for what you have given to them. They actually do look a little happier at having some meat. They seem to be a bit low on provisions themselves.
Can I catch the leader of this group to him privately?
Sure. If you just wanna.
Are we all like preparing to head out, kind of thing? Because I'm assuming we're not breaking camp. We're just freaking moving, right?
No. Yes. He does say to the rest of you that if you are willing to help, that yes, they are moving without much further delay, since this break has already gone on for too long as it is. But he does at the motions of Neff, he does go to the side with him. Yeah, so what can I do for you, Horned One?
Rude still, but regardless. I have one question for you. When the villagers did try to take you, and of course, as you stated, that you did take some of them out as well, did you find any instance of them, familiar faces, coming back?
We did not stay in one place long enough to ascertain whether well, what is it that you're truly asking, I suppose?
If you'll believe me, and please do keep an open mind about this, we did come into contact with the village, of course, otherwise we wouldn't be talking to you otherwise. But as I left the last time, there was a face in the crowd that was odd. He had a cut clear across his neck, but was waving and smiling at me. Had an awfully vile smile, but I would think that with a cut like that, he would just be dead and gone. No way of saving him, but he was alive, so I think what we're fighting might be more than what we can bargain for.
That is disturbing. If
Yeah,
what
you get my
is,
point.
I do not doubt, after these past couple weeks, I do not doubt for a moment what you may have seen may have been real, but I do not have any instance to confirm that myself. We never stayed in one place long enough to see if the dead truly were, I suppose. Honestly, the concept it's disquieting.
Is there anything else you can tell me about whatever forest spirit you might be fighting? That any other tales, lore, legends, anything? There's any information that we could use is what we might be fighting if we have no knowledge to go on. It's a fight that we're just gonna lose. And of course I assume you and the rest of you would prefer not to die. Just presumptuous.
It is a good assumption on your part.
I'm pretty good at that.
I do not have anything specific or concrete to give you. The tales that I half remember are, I believe, thousands of years old at best. They come from a time before the great migrations from our various continents, when Kile was still an elven continent, a pure elven continent, back when he looks around, he gestures to the rest of them when our ways were dominant. And all I remember from them is just that it brought everything and everyone to its knees in its moment, until somehow it is said that our people overcame it, but there is nothing to say as to what that may have been.
Do you happen to know anybody, perhaps back in your village, that would know more about this?
It's very possible. Yes, our elders are our historians are well versed in our oral and written traditions, and would have further details chronicling our past and our myths. And I, for one, intend to have some very pointed questions for them when we return.
Well then, let's not waste time here. Oh, one other thing before we break off here. Please don't mention this to the other party members of mine. They don't quite exactly trust me, and honestly, if they thought I was going crazy, they'd probably be off with my head. Especially the elf one. I know you elves would get along well, but he's crazy. I saw him kill a child. He'll probably take me next if he knew that if he thought I had the slightest inkling of being crazy. So,
Somewhere, just instinctively, I'd raise my hands in a double bird.
Okay. The elf who has been talking this time introduces himself, actually. His name is Delwyn. Delwyn.
Good boy name.
And yes, he seems to be the leader of the remainder of the party. And he looks to the rest of you and says, well, if there are no further questions or anything that you want to tell me, I should say, then we should be off.
I've got nothing else. Shall we?
No. I will say, as they were having their conversation, I quick looked over to Salazar and said, hey, did you hear that? He called you a pumpkin.
I don't know what that means, but I'll...
What?
Oh, what?
I'm so confused.
The country
Quilzy?
bumpkin comment.
Oh.
I know, but Quilzy cut out.
Oh, I said I don't know what that means, but...
He cut it again.
Wow.
You don't know what that means, but...
He's being censored right
But I
now.
like it.
Worth it. Worth the punchline there.
Worth it. Great. So glad. So glad.
Okay. So Delwyn tells the rest of you that the tribe's camp they had settled in for a couple months as they sent out this trading expedition. They would not move from their little temporary settlement until they had returned. So it is only about a 2 days journey. You can see, though Delwyn wants to go through the night, he is barely able to stay on his feet at this point, as are the other 4 elves, and equally shambled states.
And you want to get
you
some
want to do something
sleep? I
about
can take watch.
No, I have a better idea. Oh, I can't do this in my elven accent.
No, you cannot, you asshole.
Let's lead the horses and let them rest, and we'll travel.
We only have 3 horses, though.
Don't we? Thought we had 4.
Everyone has
you
one.
have-
You've been...
Three
I think-
You
horses
have
and a
3
dog.
horses and a pony.
They can still work.
Yeah.
We can have them ride the horses and the pony, and we'll lead them so we can keep walking through the night. And that way we can keep ground and keep ahead of this thing.
Okay. Delwyn reluctantly agrees to this. And you see...
Before he
Four.
he goes off to bed or whatever, I'm gonna ask him the directions and know what I should do, where I should go.
He just gives you since it is close at the nighttime, he points out a small constellation up into the northeastern sky, and he says, "This is the Great Hunter. And if you follow its arrow's path, then it will take you straight to our camp.
How very fantasy.
No bully.
I nod my head and I start leading them on.
Okay. The 5 elves kind of do a quick sort of draw straws as to see who will be the odd person out. And Delwyn.
Oh, come on. I bet you Salazar could totally carry one all night. Can't you, big man?
I could.
I sense hesitancy in your voice.
I don't really want to.
Uh-huh.
It seems hard.
Yeah, but you're so strong.
Hold on. Can I use suggestion on him?
Yeah, you totally can for sure.
Is that a spell?
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh. Are we gonna make him carry an elf all night?
All right. So let's see. All right. So what does he have to roll? What does he have to roll against? Should I remember? He has to make a wisdom saving throw. So get ready for this, buddy.
Okay.
Oh, I rolled it. Oops. I did the wrong button. How do I get this to work again?
Well,
Um,
clicking on it just brings up the.
Yeah, I don't remember how.
I don't think you rolled for this.
You no,
Oh,
you
do I not?
don't.
He has to make a saving
No,
throw? Well, it's on there, so
Yeah.
now you know.
Yeah, the other person has to.
the other person
Make a
has to
saving
make
throw,
it.
you fool.
So
And it'll
it's
be
the
against your spell save, or your spell
My
DC.
spell DC is 13.
So it'll be Wisdom saving throw against 13.
Wisdom saving throw.
oh no.
Just where is it? Is it just wisdom?
It's
it should
under
be
saving
wisdom's-
throws.
There's
Yeah.
there should be a
On
saving
the top
throw.
of the sheet.
Just beneath your proficiency bonus and your inspiration point.
It's a saving throws, my guy.
Oh, there it is. Oh God. Okay, here we go. Gotcha.
Oh!
Hey,
He
13.
does it!
No way!
Like straight
Yeah.
13. My
I'm-
God.
I just
So
look at him
surprised.
blankly, confused.
Oh, I'm actually disappointed right now.
Okay. Actually, wait. Says. Let me check. Real quick. On a thing. Please tell me.
I think
Okay,
it's
nope,
the
nope,
ties
no.
the defender. Yeah, the defender.
No, because you guys are exhausted. But it's
We're
only on ability checks. It's not on saving throws.
Yeah.
So you do not have disadvantage.
Ah,
And so
I'm actually sad.
Salazar, you are of free will to carry an elf if you so choose, but you are not compelled to do so.
Can I use persuasion now?
You cannot roll persuasion against
Damn
the
it!
character.
No!
That's such a good
I
roll,
will
Steve.
not
Well done.
carry another. I'm tired.
Which is fair. You are all tired, but the elves do look dead, or at least half dead. But they, after they initially tried to draw straws, Delwyn seems to come to his senses a bit more, and he ushers the other 4 onto horses, and he decides that he will continue walking himself.
Too good for a
Yeah.
pony?
Is he? Well, there's 5 elves and 4
Yeah.
True. Never mind then.
4 animals.
Continue.
For some reason, I thought there was 4
There's
elves.
4
Yeah.
animals and a beast man who doesn't want to carry anybody. There's 2.
Okay. So this newly formed party heads out into the direction of the Arrow's Path from the Great Hunter,
The Aerosmith concert.
from the Aerosmith concert.
Hell yeah.
It was a
Is
good
that,
one.
is that the hunter, Aerosmith?
Yes, it's he's singing "Dream On." No, it's
That's
clear
canon.
that it's clear that the
It's canon.
Constitution is saying walk this way.
It's canon. The stars can speak now.
Where did John go?
I don't even know.
I accidentally exited out.
Ha!
Yeah, I know. I'm getting back in right
He's
now.
removed from the
Okay.
group now.
So you guys are setting off now with your new elven friends, your bedraggled elven friends. It is Delwyn said that it was about a day's journey. And
Did I stay awake for all of it? Hold on a second.
you do have one level of exhaustion. I don't know if you guys want to swap out with the elves
That's
at some
rotate
point.
sleeps. Let's rotate sleep times. Let's rotate
Okay.
naps.
We could say that this even goes into the daytime a little bit. The switching of the sleep cycles. Is that what all of you guys want to do?
I mean, I want to make sure they all get at least like a decent rest before I do.
They are wood elves, so it's they really only need they basically just trance.
Right.
So it's more so the fact that they're not actively exercising themselves is the real rest. But after 4 hours of that, they are in a noticeably better state. Not all the way, of course, but they do not look like they're about to drop like gnat flies.
All right.
Okay. So after they do their short shift, the rest of you can certainly ride your horses and pony.
Yeah.
And
I've named him Clarence.
you can
That's canon. Write it down.
You can ride your horses and Clarence. And yes, I'll allow that you guys get a rest in with that in mind.
All right.
Baller.
But with that, we will need Timothy and Arlo to make wisdom saving throws.
22.
Jeez, wow.
What is going on?
You are crushing every single one of these.
Can I have your rolls?
My,
What is that?
23, yeah.
I mean, cool.
Wow.
All right. So again, the night proves uneventful for you.
Okay.
And you wake up and or come out of your trance, respectively. And you are at the what Delwyn tells you is that just on the outskirts of where the village should be. And as you come around a grove of woods that opens up into what looks like a rather large valley, you see lodges and tents and lean-tos and some more sturdy-looking structures that are all centering themselves around a small cluster of trees in the center of the valley. You can see some buildings peppered throughout the branches themselves. And you see a few smoke trails coming from what looks like to be campfires. Delwyn looks to you, and the relief is just so easily plain on his face, and it says, "It has been the longest 2 weeks of my life. I think it goes without saying, and I am beside myself that we've finally made it. Although it weighs heavily on me that it is not with good news to bear." Okay, and then the group makes their way into the village itself. And I will ask all of you to give a perception check. As you enter into the village.
I'm gonna growl louder.
Nice.
Oh, dang.
Get wrecked, bitch.
Wow.
10, 20, 23, and 13. Dang.
Okay.
Look at this math equation
That's
we got
about
going
the
Doesn't make
lowest
sense.
I've rolled all night.
All of you notice that something is very off with the village as you come into the little gate that they have set up. For one, there is no one at their posts at the gates. And even as you enter in, you see that there is no one and nothing in this entire settlement. A place that should have had hundreds, maybe even more than 1,000 people. There is not a trace.
Oh, spooky.
Great.
Can I roll investigation? I want to investigate.
Go ahead.
Hell yeah, baby. Here we go. Watch this. Close enough.
14, not bad.
Okay, that's not bad. You can tell that you do not see anything like bodies or blood around you, but you do see what appears to be some signs of a struggle here around the gate. You see scuffs in the earth. You see blade hacks across like the doors against the wooden frames of the structures around you. You see a couple loose arrows embedded into the ground. But otherwise there is nothing.
I want to look
Delwyn.
I was saying,
Oh,
I
go
want to
ahead.
see what their expressions are. I look
Yeah.
to Delwyn to see what's going on.
You see Delwyn collapse, and he begins to openly sob at the sight of his home being completely lost, it would appear. And he begins to mutter to himself, "Too late, too late, too late."
Would I, just because of my, is there like some way you do like a mental fortitude kind of check?
A mental fortitude kind of check? That's usually
Yeah.
like will saves.
Yeah.
I might need to do a wisdom saving throw, just
Right.
in light of my background and this whole
Okay.
scenario.
Yeah, go ahead.
I own it.
19.
I
Yeah.
just buried this deep.
The memories start to brim up, but you push them down with a valiant resolve.
Excellent.
You will not break in the face of this clear tragedy in front of you. You only let it bring more resolve into what needs to be done.
You only let it feed your anger.
You only let it feed your anger.
Baller. I want to
There
go
you
over
go.
and put my hand on him, on Delwyn.
Roll for gay.
Roll for gay. What's the gay check? Charisma? Charisma saving throw. I owned it.
Weirdly enough, crying and destroyed men are not your thing. So maybe you aren't a sociopath. I don't know.
He is.
No, I just have different customs. We established this.
Okay, fair enough. No, he seems to take a little bit of comfort in this, and the other elves have not reacted in quite the same broken fashion, but they are all clearly torn at the thought that their home seems to have been taken in some fashion, and they can only imagine what may have happened to their loved ones.
I'd like to look around for like evidence of what may have come in and done this.
Okay. So then that would just be
investigation,
straight investigation.
I find that the dirt is indeed
Dirt.
dirt.
You heard a lot of what Neff had said, and somehow you got
did
it
he
into your
say?
head that you
there's
discovered all of these things. So you just repeat everything that Neff said, but claim it as your own.
Thank you for repeating after me. I appreciate you.
Hey, reinforcement. Make sure we all know what's up.
That's true. We have to reinforce the other one now, don't we?
Does anybody else take any action, or?
I mean, I'm gonna investigate too. That's the
I
thing.
think Quills is asleep.
No, I'm here.
See? He woke up now.
I'll throw out No, I'm gonna throw out. I want to know what this beast is. Can I throw out a nature check?
Yes, you can throw out a nature check.
I deny him.
14.
Wow.
Okay, with a 14, specifically for a nature check, you can tell that something maybe large had passed through this gate. You can see on top of the swords, nicks and arrows embedded around you, and you can see that something large had brushed up against the sides of the gate as it seems to have entered or exited. And
Is there any like fur or scraps or anything like that?
There is no fur. For what you can see, there isn't anything like flesh either, or blood. But you do, now that you look at the scuff marks in the dirt a little more closely, you can tell that this was something confirmed for very large that made a few of these tracks. Something that the feet alone look humanoid. They have toes. They have they are shaped generally like a regular person's foot, just very large.
Interesting. So it's like a giant of some kind. Okay.
And yes, Delwyn at this point begins to collect himself a little bit more, and he gets to his feet and he says, we have to go to the tribal center. If anyone had survived this, they would be there, and if there's any answers to be had, any records to be found for what we may be dealing with, that is the only place I can think to look.
All right, I follow him. I just
Lead the way.
Yeah.
We
Right
need
behind you.
more information if
Okay.
we're gonna fight anything.
Half awake. He's right behind us.
All right. As you guys make your way through the desolate streets of the Elven encampment, you begin to arrive at the village center, and as you are about to go into the building itself, you hear behind you some rustling.
I turn around.
I don't like that
And
background
look.
you got going on there, Steve.
I do. I have the worst background. You can fuck off.
And
Do we do perception checks for the wrestling?
no, because as the group turns around, a figure emerges from one of the broken down tents. He crawls his way out from underneath.
At this point, would the elves have been comfortable with us carrying our weapons with us?
Yes, your
Good.
weapons have been returned to all of you. I
Good.
should have said that.
Yeah.
Retcon.
And as the figure comes up with the draped in the tarp of the canvas of the tent, it looks to you, to each of you, and that is where we'll end our session.
Yeah, fuck you. Roll to continue the session.
Roll the continuous session.
Yes. What would it be? Charisma?
Persuasion. Hold on.
Nah, 15's not
Persuasion.
enough.
Oh.
7's definitely not good enough.
I'm on this cursed charisma.
That's even worse. Oh, no, let's cut that one.
I'm gonna try
Yeah, you
my
didn't
hand
even
for
get
the.
one.
Oh.
Oh, there we go.
Well, at least
Tens
it's.
are highest.
I'm still double digits.
No, it's not. 10's not our highest. It's 15. You fool.
Wait, you rolled a. How much persuasion do you have? Plus 8?
Plus 7.
7? My God.
That's
Okay,
Yeah,
so
he
yeah,
rolled
that'll
a
be
big-
it for tonight then.
Lame.
All right.
So we'll continue in 2 weeks' time.
Cliffhangers are for people who can't write plots.
The fact that he's able to tie this all in is pretty good by me.
So next session should prove to be a little bit more exciting. This was
Oh, I bet
definitely,
it's Patrick that's under the drapes.
it will be a lot more, a lot less plot heavy, I think. Hopefully, I hope for the next session that you guys get to have a bit more of the reins on this.
No, that's okay. I enjoyed that. Yeah.
All right, cool. Oh, I'm glad. And I hope that everyone watching also had a good time.
Yeah.
All one of you.
All one of them.
You know what? That's okay. It's all right.
Do it for them.
I like
We do
it.
it for them. Pyro, if you're still there,
We love you. We appreciate you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much,
Leave and
Byron.
never return.
Shut your mouth.
But yeah, we'll start again in 2 weeks' time, and I hope it'll be a much more exciting session. So,
All right.
and I'll stop the sad music now.
Yeah, you were on point with that music today.
That was good.
Yeah,
Nice,
you were.
thank you. I've realized I could start mixing, like I could start adding tracks on top of each other. I was like, oh wow, this adds so many. This adds so much.
Yeah.
Hooray. We leveled up for that, right?
No.
Aw.
No, you did not.
No.